How to detach and let go of the ego. It is better to be kind than to be right. Nobody likes someone who criticizes and judges everyone. Being kind to everyone is being kind to yourself. When you give off positive energy, you feel good. When you choose to judge others and hate others, you don't feel good about yourself. Be assertive and set appropriate boundaries without being aggressive. Your ego will be the reason for your failures. The world will let you know that you are wrong all along. You think you are doing everything right, but in reality, you're wrong. It's just your ego. Don't think you deserve everything. The world owes you nothing. If you only focus on the future and the result, you will be miserable. You may think your future is set to play out because the actions and the effort you put in meant you earned it. You will be disappointed. You cannot control the outcome. You can only focus on the process and what you can do. The outcome you want is not guaranteed. Focus on making small improvements in the present and stop thinking about the future. You will naturally obtain what you want as long as you stay consistent and committed. If all you have is your ego and think you deserve something, and if that something doesn't come to fruition, you will be left with nothing. Be grateful and value what you have, and keep those who care about you close to you. You have to understand why you have certain emotions that control you. Before you can control your emotions, you have to know what triggers your ego. For example, someone who road rages. What is causing the road rage? Is it because the lack of patience? It's not worth getting somewhere a minute earlier if it causes a fight or an accident. It simply isn't worth it. Sometimes you just have to weigh out the pros and the cons and realize it's better to get to your destination safe. Let go of your ego and realize the world doesn't revolve around you. You are not the best at what you do, and realize you can learn from those around you. Don't be stuck in your mind. Come back to reality. Surrounding yourself with good influences will help you let go of that ego. Toxic environment will build up negativity and ego and the need to prove yourself to others. You have to understand that you don't need to prove yourself to others. True friends will accept you for who you are and never put you down. Your ego will stop you from growing and becoming better. You can't learn if you think you know everything. Realize you know nothing, and there's always more to learn. Don't interrupt. Just be calm and listen. You have to drop your ego to understand others. Understanding requires listening without the need to respond. To listen without ego requires an open mind. To have an open mind requires wanting to understand everyone and realize your opinion is not always right. To become open-minded, you have to have a desire to become better than who you are right now. To become better requires wanting to learn, and that is to be a student. To let go of the ego requires understanding of others. To do so, you have to cultivate empathy. Many people are selfish and think they are the center of attention. The more you center your focus and compassion outward, the less important your ego becomes. To want to help others and not put others down because they have a different opinion than you requires having empathy. A person may be wrong, but you won't put others down if you have empathy. Thinking outside the box and try to understand why people think a certain way will open up your mind. A person can think and behave a certain way due to the environment they grew up in, the way they were raised, and the way they were taught. Many people's egos will subside after failure when they realize they are no better than anyone else, that sometimes there is nothing they can do to make things go their way, and they have to learn to accept and let go. Ego can come in many forms. The weak ego is what tells you you are not good enough. This ego will tell you that you're not good at anything and you'll never be able to do anything. This is when you have to start believing in yourself and be confident in your capabilities. To understand the ego, you have to take the time to think about where your desires and opinions come from and asking yourself why you think and want certain things. What influenced these desires and opinions is a great way to understand the ego. Understanding the reason why you desire things is far more important than obtaining things. It will change your perspective on what is truly important in your life outside of the ego. Ego is just made up of thoughts, which is made up of existing external values and ideas. Letting go of the ego is knowing your belief may not be your own. It can be a belief that is instilled in you, but you never question if you actually believe in it yourself. Ask yourself, what is the truth? The truth constantly changes. As we learn more about the universe and our existence, new theories emerge and old ones debunked. Ultimately, we don't know the truth. To seek knowledge and wanting to learn is to be humbled and knowing that you know nothing at all, that you will never know everything, and you should constantly want to keep learning and growing as a person. To want to get better is letting go of the ego. Your ego will tell you that you are the best already, and there is no reason to continue growing and getting better. Your ego will hold you back from becoming your best self. Your ego will tell you that you should not ask for help, and you have to do everything yourself. The truth is, everyone needs help. No one can do everything themselves. No one is good at everything and capable of doing everything. There will be things you are good at and things you are bad at. The world wasn't built by one person, but by millions of people's efforts poured into constructing everything around us. It is okay to ask for help when you need it, and there will be someone who will be happy to help you. You just have to ask. Your ego will tell you you shouldn't do something because you might fail. Ego will hold you back from success. You have to let go of that ego and go out and do the things you want to do, regardless if you fail or not. You don't want to grow old and regret never attempting to achieve what you wanted to in life. By simply attempting to achieve a goal and asking for help when you need it will actually make you happier because you are getting things done rather than procrastinating due to the fear of failure. Don't be attached to things. What you are attached to is created from the approval of others. If everyone wanted to live in a tiny home, you will want to live in a tiny home. If everyone wanted to live in a big house, you will want to live in a big house. Success and what you want is mainly driven by what the masses want. This is when you should ask yourself, what do you want if there were no outside influences and standards of success? What is the life you want to live? The ego wants to protect itself by proving and competing with others, which leads to unhappiness because you look at other people's lives and compare it with your own. And this is why everyone is unhappy with their lives. To be happy, you only need to compare yourself and be better than who you were yesterday. You are only competing with yourself and no one else. You are competing with your past self to become your best self. Ego is what compares you to others. Letting go of that is what lessens the pressure you feel, and understanding you are moving at your own pace. No one is walking down your path. You can't blame yourself if your book has more chapters than others, and it will take you longer to reach your climax. It's impossible for everyone to achieve the same things at the same time. Everyone has a different purpose in life. People achieve their goals at different stages of their life. Your ego will tell you that you have to get to your destination before others. It's okay to move at your own speed, and eventually you will get to your destination as long as you keep on moving forward. Ego is a fake persona we conform to what we believe others want and expect from us. Underneath that mask is pain, suffering, trauma, and anxiety. We are afraid to express how we truly feel and be who we are. We create personas at work, at school, and on first dates to let people perceive us in a better way, when in reality, being yourself is the best way to present yourself. You don't need to hide behind a mask. You need to express yourself authentically. That is how you attract the right people. Your ego attracts bad influences in your life. To let go of that ego is to better your life. Once you open your mind and see what others are going through, you will realize we're all people trying to get through life the best we can. We all struggle, and there is no need for ego to create more suffering. There's people who are happy with a little and people who are unhappy when they have everything. You have to be content with where you are and be grateful for what you have. Then you will enjoy chasing your goals. You won't focus on the goal. You will enjoy the process, which is the chase. And that's what we all need to enjoy, and that is the journey. Because when we get to the finish line, it's the experiences we look back on and think, good times. Letting go of the ego is easier when you are struggling. You see the suffering and understand it because you are going through what millions of people are going through. It's easy to be at the top of the world and judge others on why they are not successful. It's only when you experience struggle you understand why people struggle. You begin to have empathy for others, because you understand how hard life can really get. And not everyone has the mental fortitude and will, nor the opportunities you had to get to the top. Ego will cause you to put others down and not understand what difficulties others are facing. Letting go of that ego is what will open your mind to why people suffer and why people make certain choices. And you will begin to accept yourself and other people for who they are. One thing everyone should understand is no one is thinking about you. The only person thinking about you is you. No one is looking at you or talking about you every day, all the time. You don't need to fear others judging you and talking bad about you. You are not that important. Everyone is selfish and only thinks about themselves and their problems. When you get rejected by a girl, realize she doesn't even remember you the next day. She done moved on. You don't need to be stuck on that rejection. It's not on anyone's mind, only yours. When you understand that a rejection means nothing, you will stop having the fear of getting rejected by a girl. Your ego will make you think you are the center of attention and that everyone is thinking about how you were perceived in a specific situation. The truth is, no one cares. Just be yourself. The ego will disregard people's feelings and difficulties. It's easy for someone who can get a girlfriend to tell someone who struggles to get a girlfriend to just be confident. You don't know what goes on in their mind. The ego will cloud your mind and you will refuse to understand why some guys struggle to be confident around women, but perhaps it's just something they are not good at, and that you have something you're not good at. Perhaps they are better than you at certain things, and you are better than them at certain things. It's just life. Life creates a balance where you will not be good at everything, but you will not be bad at everything. Just like you can criticize someone on what they are not good at, others can criticize you on what you are not good at. When you project negativity, you are embodying unhappy emotions. Let go of the ego and be happy.